yeah, I'm going to start using my real name now. My name is actually Leon, not Keith Boymeta. That was not the name birthed to me by my parents, sadly, although that would be a pretty cool name. Yeah, basically, I'm just here to talk about Smackdown live. I don't usually do a Smackdown post show. The reason being is that wonderfully and brilliantly, basically, WWE is currently touring the United Kingdom and then like France afterwards because it's all building up to a Clash in Paris. And then I think they've got a show for Monday Night Raw in possibly in Lyon, ironically enough. Um, and yeah, I think there's a show after that, and then they return to the States. So basically, we should get Monday Night Raw, which is from Birmingham, not Alabama. Birmingham in England. We'll get SmackDown, I think that's in Lyon. And then it's Clash of Paris next Sunday. And then I think the Raw presumably will be from Paris again or Lyon. I don't know where the last one is. But yeah, basically, we're getting like four lots of shows. Your boy's actually going to Leeds with the family to see the WWE house show here because I'm actually from Leeds. So yeah, there'll be plenty of content coming up on the channel. So I'll probably do like 3 or 4 live reactions in the next the next week, and I'm also going to see AEW as well at the O2 Arena in a day and a half now. Yes, I'll be there in London on Sunday. Should be there about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but I'll tell you all about that in a minute. Obviously, this video is live, but it should be going out as a YouTube videos as well. So if you don't catch it live, just leave any comments or feel free to watch it or whatever. So yeah. So yeah, SmackDown. I've got my notes here. I thought it didn't suck. That's about the politest thing I can say, to be honest. It wasn't an awful show by any stretch of the imagination. There were some good bits, but it was just like, I mean, essentially it was just like a glorified house show with John Cena and Logan Paul attached to it. I mean, the rest of the matches were nothing particularly to write home about. I thought Charlotte versus Piper was not too bad. Probably match of the night. Fair play to Piper. She wrestled really well. But yeah, we'll go through everything that happened basically. So, the show is in Dublin. So obviously Becky Lynch comes out first. She gets a massive, massive pop. I did have a bit of an issue with this, to be honest. I thought Becky's promo was really good. I thought when she turned heel on the crowd, it was still good. I would have preferred for her just to have remained. I would have preferred for Becky Lynch to be face for Dublin, if you see what I mean. And like sort of have like an antagonistic heel side as well towards competitors, just like kind of the way that Bret Hart did it back in the day. So Bret Hart was obviously promoting himself as a Canadian hero, but then the Americans also hated him when he came back to America, kind of thing. So I just thought they could have done something like that with Bex. I don't always want to see them booing the hometown crowd because obviously you know how much Bex loves Dublin, loves Ireland, so it, I don't know, that bit for me was a bit unnecessary, to be honest. Um, After that, Tiffy Stratton came out, Nia Jax came out, and then Jade Cargill came out, and they all ended up in. It was the usual start to SmackDown, and then Nick Aldis comes out, and as soon as Nick Aldis comes out, you are just like, yeah, we're getting a tag team match in the main event, which was what happened. So you had Nia Jax and Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. They sold that most of the night in terms of Jade, and also sold it with Tiff. So I would suspect that they're going to be the women's match Clash of Champions, because obviously Stephanie Vakia would have faced Naomi, but we've got the news on Raw about Naomi's upcoming pregnancy. Congratulations to her as well. So whether the women's title, obviously it's been vacated, so maybe we get Rhea Ripley at Clash of Champions. I mean, if I wanted to sell the event, I would have Rhea Ripley in a match. I would probably just have Rhea Ripley versus Stephanie Vakia and have like a tournament on Raw. Obviously, Raw's from Birmingham this week, so I would just full on have a tournament with maybe Vakia, Rhea, Oscar, Io Sky, for whoever's going to be the final two to basically main event Clash at Paris. But I reckon it might go to Stratton and it might go to Jade Cargill because it's a Roger Raid match. I think the women's title, they'll probably just keep that. Yeah, they'll probably just keep have a tournament for that after they've got back to the States or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's how the show opened. You had the Miz and Mello versus the Motor City Machine Guns. It was okay. Wasn't the best match I've ever seen. I did think I get that they're trying to get Miz and Mello over as a tag. And I do understand that, but it's such a shame for the Motor City Machine Guns. I am a bit biased because I used to watch them in TNA and I used to watch the Guns in a lot of house shows and stuff. But for an experienced tag team like that to lose to Miz and Mel, I mean, I know they've been wrestling for a while, but it was just a bit daft, really, to be honest. So I do feel really sorry for the Guns. Obviously, they've not really got over. I love the Motor City Machine Guns because, like I said, I used to watch them all the time. Whether they can do something with the Guns, like turn them heel or something, I don't know, but they need to do something with them because they're getting very much lost in the shuffle at the minute. So yeah, Miz and Mello, they kind of teased a split as well, because basically Miz did the tagging himself thing in again when Mello was about to get himself in, and then Miz gets the 1, 2, 3. So I do think they're teasing a split, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me have a look. Fun with Katana. Hi, Fun with Katana. How you doing? Then after that, there was a segment with Jimmy Uso where they acknowledged the him and Naomi being pregnant. And then Sami Zayn came along, congratulated him. And then the MFTs, came out and a match was obviously set up. So there was a tag match later on the night with the MFTs. Then you had Charlotte versus Piper Niven. So they explained that Alexa had been taken out the previous week. I suspect maybe it's something to do with Alexa not wanting possibly to leave a child or take the child abroad, which as a parent I completely understand and fair play to. I mean, it might just be that she wants to rest, who knows, but they're actually doing the Secret Hervis versus Charlotte and Alexa Bliss next week on Smackdown in France. So it's going to be like a tag team match. So for the titles, so that should be pretty decent. I actually thought, to be fair, Piper versus Charlotte was okay. I thought it was probably there wasn't much to choose from. I think there were only like 4 matches in the end, but I thought Charlotte versus Piper was probably the best. I thought Piper acquitted herself really well. I do wonder whether they're teasing some sort of split where Piper's going to turn on Chelsea, because Chelsea's like obviously super over. And she was getting chanted by the crowd. Crowd were actually chanted for Chelsea. And there were a couple of little bits when Piper didn't look best pleased about it. I don't know if that's just me. I actually think heel Piper, if she's done seriously, could be a very good asset for WWE. And obviously she's a really good worker. Great look. So maybe there's something there. I don't know, but yeah, Charlotte ended up losing because Chelsea distracted the referee, and then I can't quite remember what did she do to Charlotte. I don't know if she hit her with something. I can't quite remember, to be completely honest. But basically, there was referee distraction. Charlotte had Piper in the figure 8. And then Chelsea did something or other. I think she might have punched her or something. I can't remember what it was, but basically it was a distraction. Piper hit a finisher, 1, 2, 3, Piper wins the match. So I definitely think there's something there with Piper, but whether WWE follow that through, who knows. There was this awful section. I'm sorry to like, I'm not having a go at her at all. There was a section with Julia and Michin and Kiana James, who's meant to be her legal advisor, which I'm not. I don't know why they've attached Kiana James to Julia unless it's to be a mouthpiece. I really don't. I just don't think it was necessary. I think you just keep Julia as a killer, keep getting her winning matches, and I think that would have been fine. Michin, Look, she's obviously a very talented woman. I mean, no disrespect to her whatsoever, and I'm sure she is trying her hardest, but she's just not connecting with the crowd. I don't know what it is. I just don't think she's the most exciting character, unfortunately, I've ever seen. That's probably why B-Fab's ended up joining the Street Profits, because then at least she's kind of got a thing. I think Meechin could just do with being in a group, to be quite honest. It's the same sort of thing with Zelina Vega. Yeah, Vega, Meechin, B-Fab, they just aren't hitting what they need to hit, to be honest. So I would, yeah, I'd maybe think about me putting Mishin in a group because it's just not working for her. I mean, the promo segment was, I mean, it was awful. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus, and Jade Cargill fiasco a few months ago, whenever it was. But yeah, it was pretty poor, to be honest. What do we have next? Ah, right. So Cena then comes out, gets a massive ovation in Dublin, obviously. He's about to speak, and then Logan Paul's music hits, and basically Paul gets booed out of the building. I mean, the fair play to the Irish, they were all over him like a cheap coat. Um, it was actually really, really good, and they were chanting, right, there are kids that watch my streams, so um, I'll just say they were calling him something that rhymed a lot with banker, and I shall leave it at that, basically. Um, but yeah, they were all over Paul's fair play to the Irish. Then Cena then gets the mic. He then says that Paul is a banker, and also says at the end of his promo, "You're just full of something rhyming with light." But yeah, there was lots of. It was a really good promo. I was saying, to be fair, he was just like, "You're just a disappointment." You say you've worked 23 matches. I've been working for 23 years. It was the usual scene promo, but it was delivered with a lot of fire. So yeah, fair play to John. It was quite decent. There was a call back to the end of that of the night as well. And yeah, Logan ends up trying to hit Cena ducks it. They kind of botched the AA a little bit, to be honest. Cena went to pick him. I don't know if there was just a bit of miscommunication, but basically Logan missed his spot to go on Cena's shoulder, so I had to course correct and stuff. But yeah, yeah, that segment was pretty cool. Like I said, folks, to be honest, there wasn't a great deal of stuff to watch, really, to be honest. Next match was. So, if you're wondering why I keep turning, by the way, I am not a good rememberer, if that's even a word, so I have to write everything down, basically. Street Profits B-Fab versus. Who was it? Street Profits against the MFTs. Yeah, I look, I'm not. I've got to be honest. I'm not a fan of Solo Sikoa at all. I don't like the group. I would have. Looking back on it, I don't know how you would have redone the bloodline without Roman Reigns, but I just wish they'd kept that group together and maybe had another figurehead, so not Reigns, but I mean, I don't even know who you could have had, but Solo Sikoa is just not. I don't find him believable. I think he's a very, very talented wrestler. Um, but he's not a main guy for me. I think JC Mateo's really good. Obviously Jeff Cobb used to wrestle in AEW in New Japan. The I just don't know. There's just something not right with that group. I mean, I can't even think of anyone, to be honest. I mean, if someone like if there was like Edge there, just off the top of my head, for example, I would just put all those guys with Edge and have them be his minions, basically. But obviously, Edge works for AEW as Adam Copeland, so you can't do that. But yeah, I just don't like the group at all. The match was what it was. It was okay. The one thing that I have written down is Montez Ford. He needs a singles run. That guy is super, super talented. He's got a great look. He's getting that thing over where he does the whatever it is with the cup in his hand. By the way, check out the cup. There you go. In fact, swig of water for the working man. Let's have a look. Def VG, I've got a question. Yeah, as long as it's not rude, that's fine. Yeah, but Montez definitely. I mean, no offense to Dawkins, but Montez is he's a main event player. I would, I mean, when obviously Cena and Brock and people like that have gone, there's a lot more room at the top. Obviously Zayn's getting older. KO's got his health problems. Punk's 46. I mean, I don't know how old Montez Ford is, but I would assume he's 28, 29. He could be a real player on his own. For those of you who are maybe the same age as me, I would kind of do a Rockers split. So when Shawn Michaels kicked Marty Jannetty many years ago, and they split the Rockers up, and Shawn obviously went on to become the Heartbreak Kid. I'm not suggesting that Montez Ford, by the way, is Shawn Michaels by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely think they could do something with it. It's no offense to Dawkins because obviously he's a decent wrestler himself, but Montez Ford is potentially money if they can get this right. I mean, you could even have him and Bianca Belair if Belair turns heel as well, as just some sort of like super couple. I don't know, like Booker T and Charmel back in the day. Um, but yeah, Montez is absolute money. But basically the crowd just died, and obviously whoever you put in that spot after Cena, the next match was always going to have a little bit of trouble getting over, unless it was something like CM Punk or something like that. And there were people chanting for Roman Reigns during the match as well, which did not help because obviously Roman isn't there. Um, yeah, and then we were supposed to have. So how many matches would that be? That's one, two, three. So there should have been a fifth match. But basically, what happened was it was meant to be Alistair Black versus Ron Killings. Um, Alistair Black goes in the ring, does his normal ring entrance, and then it cuts to a video of Ron Killings, and he said he'd got on the wrong. I did think that was quite funny. He went to Dublin, Georgia instead of Dublin, United Kingdom. I mean, obviously he probably wasn't booked, but I did think that was quite a good line. So fair play to Ron Killings. But he did say one of my mates is here to basically wrestle you. And out steps Damien Priest, and it was a bit of a barn burner. They were having an absolute swinging match between each other. So yeah, I mean, Priest versus Black might be the fifth match at Clash of Champions. I'm just thinking that basically they haven't got a women's match just yet. That's why I think it might be Stratton versus Cargill. But Priest versus Alistair Black would be decent, to be fair. So, I mean, Damien Priest, he's another one that I really like Damien Priest. I think he's got a massive upside, but he could do it being in the group. I like I said, I enjoyed Rhea Ripley and Damien Priest. I thought they were really good with each other. Obviously, Ripley is one of the, if not biggest stars in the world. So she had to go and find her own way. I just don't know if that's really helped Priest that much in the long run. Also, as well, he had the storyline of the Judgment Day, and then he goes over to SmackDown, and there was kind of no instruction to him really. It was just like, I'm Damien Priest, I'm here to fight. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool, nice one. But there was no real build up to it. Basically, I mean, personally, I would possibly have Damien Priest turn heel and rejoin the Judgment Day. Quite honestly, and maybe they split it up and get rid of Liv Morgan, and then Roxanne takes over, and Finn Balor gets Priest, but I don't know. But they desperately need to do something with him, to be honest. Let's have a look. Damien Castrillo. Now that John Cena retiring this year, can you honestly say he's the greatest of all time? Not for me, Damien, to be honest. Hi, Damien. You're right. Hi, Vicky, as well. Personally, for me, Damien, look, I'll be completely honest, mate. I wasn't a massive fan of Cena during the early part of the last decade, so not the 2020s, as in the you know what I'm trying to say, 2010s. I just it was yeah, thanks Joe for that. Yeah, it was really. I just found it annoying that Cena won every single time, and it was just so infuriating. And I get they were trying to build Cena to what he is now, and obviously looking back, it's worked. So fair play. It was just it was enraging that it had Cena go over in every single match. But as time went by, you kind of lose your bias, and you have to admit that John Cena is a fantastic wrestler. Whatever you think of him, he's great promo. He's captivating. The match that he had against Punk at Money in the Bank that he put Punk over with, and probably my favourite Cena match of all time is AJ Styles at SummerSlam. I mean, you can't say the boat can't wrestle when him and AJ do something like that. Just bear with me a second. Uh, Yep, there we go. Yeah, sorry about that, guy, folks. I do seem to get attract trolls. I don't do arguing with trolls; they just get deleted, basically. So yeah, yeah. So in answer to your question, Damien, for me, he's not the greatest of all time. If you're asking me who I think the greatest of all time, it's a toss up between Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels for me. Um, Bret Hart would be very close. My favourite wrestler of all time is Stone Cold Steve Austin, without a shadow of a doubt. But if you ask me who the greatest performer is of all time, I'd probably just have to go with Shawn Michaels, mate, to be honest. Let's have a look. What's your favourite wrestler? Oh, hi Vicky. Yeah, I've pretty much just answered that. Yeah, no, Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's a bit of a rubbish story, but basically, back in the day, and I've told this story a million times on shows and stuff. I lost my father many years ago, and obviously that wasn't cool. And then one night, I put on TV, and I hadn't watched wrestling for years and years and years and years. And I'm sat there watching WWE. Now, bearing in mind, I hadn't seen wrestling for I hadn't seen it since Hulkamania till around the NWO time. So I've missed 6 years. I haven't got a clue what's going on. And I'm watching this match, and it was Road Dogg and Billy Gunn versus Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack, obviously Mick Foley. And there were a couple of other people in the match as well. And this bloke comes out with black shorts, black trunks, and starts smacking people in the face with steel chairs. And I'm like, okay. And then he starts like flipping the bird and drinking beer in the ring. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Who the hell's this guy? Anyway, long story short, that was Stone Cold Steve Austin. And basically, Steve got me through a horrendous time in my life because he was just like a lightning rod. Basically, he was something for me to believe in back in the day. I kind of, when I was 18, went through a bit of a period when I decided that I was also going to be Steve Austin and got myself into silly incidents, which we won't discuss here on the channel. But yeah, no, because of that, probably Steve Austin, because he got me through a really bad time in my life, and I will always love the guy for that, basically. Obviously, this guy as well would be a very close, probably second. Similarly, Punk kind of got me through a bit of a bad time in 2011. And I've always loved CM Punk. I just like the fact that he doesn't pretend to be perfect. He is contradictory, he is controversial, and he does say things that don't always align with previous stuff that he said, which is what makes him human, in my opinion. Yeah, so I love Punk. But yeah, favourite performer of all time is Shawn Michaels, but my favourite is Stone Cold Steve Austin, just to answer your question, basically. For, yeah, swig of water to Steve Austin. Yeah, anyway, so I'm just having a look. What was the. Oh, yeah, so Drew McIntyre then came out. I've got to be honest, I'm livid about this because Drew came out and they're doing this whole angle with Cody Rhodes not having a medical update. Cody Rhodes is currently filming Street Fighter, the movie, with Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes is playing Guile, if you can believe that. That's the reason he's not actually there. Unfortunately, there's a little child just above me at the minute, just above the studio, who is the world's biggest Cody Rhodes fan, and I bought tickets to WWE Leeds on the proviso that my son would see Cody Rhodes, and now it very much looks like Cody Rhodes is not going to be here. So whilst I'm in London this weekend for AEW, my vaunted wife will be explaining to my very upset son that his hero Cody Rhodes will not in fact be appearing in WWE leads, which means I will have to basically I will have to. Sorry about that again. Yeah, I will have to basically bribe my son basically with either a Cody Rhodes shirt or a Fuggler or something like that. A Fuggler is a very small furry animal. If you guys don't know what that is, you might know what FNAF is. I might have to get him a FNAF figure or something on them lines. Anyway, that's besides the point. Yeah, so Drew was cutting this promo, basically calling Cody Rhodes loser and this, that, and the other, and basically saying he has no friends and he's going to take the title off him. But then the crowd start cheering, and straight away I'm thinking to myself, oh, Cody's actually there, brilliant. And no offence to Randy Orton, but it turned out to be Randy Orton who then RKO'd Drew McIntyre from out of nowhere, as he does. And I was thinking, oh, crap, basically. But yeah, no, it's, I'm pleased Randy's back. He looks brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I mean, the guy is just a machine, basically. So if we don't get Cody in Leeds, hopefully we get Randy Orton, fingers crossed. I know CM Punk's meant to be there, but I'll talk about WWE Leeds in a minute because some of you may be going, I don't know. And then you end the night with Nia Jax and Becky Lynch versus, not Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton. The match was, yeah, I mean, there was just nothing memorable for me in the match whatsoever. It was okay. I thought Bex was really good. I probably would have had Becky Lynch's team going over. I don't know whether Bex maybe after the event, maybe in non-kayfabe, perhaps thanked the crowd. I don't know because obviously I'm not in Dublin, I'm in Leeds. Like I said, I just thought that entire bit with Becky Lynch was completely unnet. Put it this way, you could have had her remain a heel, but be friendly with the crowd. It's pretty easy done. Like I said, if you want to see how that sort of thing's done, just go back and look at Bret Hart in 1997 with the Hart Foundation. Like I said, he was a face in Canada and he was a heel in America, and he did it absolutely perfect, like absolutely job on. So I know it's a completely different thing, but I don't think that. I just really wish that Becky hadn't done the whole, oh, you should be grateful, I'm the only thing to come out of Dublin. I'm not. When you've been watching wrestling for 30 years, like you always see the hometown people who are heels do that, and I just didn't think it was necessary personally for me. But that's just me. I'm just a bitter old man, basically. Let's have a look. And then just to end the show and to make it even more perfect for me, so I apologise to any of you guys who are watching who are Logan Paul fans, and please don't shout at my son for this. My son hates Logan Paul. I mean, as in, so we watch Smackdown usually on Saturday morning, and if that wretched music comes along, that hey yo, my son will immediately walk out of the room and go and do his drawings for about half an hour until Logan's done one, basically. So tomorrow he's going to see Logan Paul knock out John Cena, which was the last thing that happened. So yeah, thanks WWE for that's really helpful. But interestingly, Nick Aldis, John Cena's walking out of the arena. Nick Aldis taps him on the shoulder and then basically turns around and says, oh, Brock Lesnar got in contact with me. And before Cena could answer, Logan Paul basically comes along and does that with his steel plate in his hand, which yeah, not quite sure about that. And then the show fades to black, and basically that was the end of SmackDown. So yeah, overall the show was okay. Put it this way, I get to see CM Punk next week at a house show, and I think I would probably prefer to see the house show I'm going to see in Leeds as opposed to what I saw in Dublin, if I'm being completely honest. But it was okay. It just wasn't the best show in the world that I've ever seen. Let's have a look, Chief. TKO Price and the Hardcore fan out. Yes, Chief. Well, in fact, let me answer you for your second one. What, Logan Paul's the greatest in-ring athlete in WWE? Chief, to be honest, I'm not inclined to disagree with you. I actually think, and I've tried to explain this to my lad, that Logan Paul's job as a heel is to annoy people. And I was like, he's like, Daddy, I hate that man. He's so annoying. And because I've taught him about wrestling early, I was just like, that's his job. And he's like, what do you mean? It's like, his job is to annoy you. That is the job of the heel. And if he's made you leave the room in annoyance and like shout at him and stuff, he's doing his job as a heel. To be honest, Chief, I actually think Logan Paul is not far off the best heel. I wouldn't say in the business, but he's not far off the best heel in WWE. I mean, look, whatever you think about Logan Paul, and I know there's outside things that people did not like Logan Paul for. To be honest, he's one of the quickest learners that I've ever seen come into the business. I mean, Kurt Angle was just a freak. He picked it up straight away. I thought Ronda, to an extent, did it as well, but Logan is. You have to be honest, and you have to say he is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Do I particularly like Logan Paul as a human being? I can't imagine he'd be the sort of person that I'd have a couple of pints with down at the Boozer in Leeds City Centre. But if you take that aside, his promos are fantastic. He's got the music, he's got the look, his move set is fantastic. His athleticism is fantastic. What he can do with the top rope is fantastic. With the obviously the somersaults and suicide dives and what have you. Um, yeah, no, the bloke's sensational, Chief. I can't argue with that, to be honest. Yes, to go back to your other point, TKO Price and the hardcore fan. I'm not inclined to disagree with you, mate. So I'm taking, just as an example, so this is a house show in Leeds that I'm going to next Wednesday, which, cheap plug, I'll be covering with a vlog and I'll be going live from outside the arena, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. Put it this way, my missus and my son are going to a house show in Leeds. Now, the last time I went for a house show in Leeds, I think it was the First Direct Arena. It cost me, so this is 13, 14 years ago, I think it was 65 quid. And my mate went as well. So it both cost us 130 quid between us. And at the time I thought, bloody hell, that's outrageous, that is. And similarly, we actually saw WWE Arena, and my mate bought a ticket for it at 75 quid. And I was like, mate, that's completely outrageous. Cut to 2025. My ticket for me, my missus, and my son have cost me north of £260. So, as the Americans would say, you do the math on that. You're talking roughly, I mean, I'm assuming the two adult tickets were about 100-ish quid, and my son's ticket would have been 60 odd, maybe 50. I mean, 50 quid for a child ticket to a wrestling show. I'm sorry, as much as I love wrestling, is absolutely outrageous. And the only reason I'm taking my son is it's like a bonding thing between me and him, and it's like a summer treat because he's on his summer holidays and he's about to go to secondary school. So I've saved up for this for a while, and it's okay. But if it wasn't the summer holidays, I would not be forking out that sort of money. I think it's absolutely outrageous. The TKO thing, you're completely right on. One of the things that I cannot believe are the ticket prices for WrestleMania. So one of the boys that I know went to Mania, not this year, but the previous. It's not the Vegas one, the one wherever when Cody won the belt, I think it was. And his bill for this isn't for the week of WrestleMania. This is just for 2 nights. Night one, night two, then flying back home the next day. Was something in the region of £4,000. I mean, look, I'm not going to tell people how to spend their money because I'm not preachy and everything, but £4,000 could basically buy you a car. Just about. £4,000 you could easily get. You could easily just about get a deposit for a house. £4,000 pays for, at a push, even in the wretchedness of the UK at the minute, £4 grand could probably set you up in a rented apartment for 8 months to a year. £4,000 should not be getting spent on wrestling. I think it's bloody outrageous personally, but obviously if my son does like WWE, unfortunately, I will be left paying these prices. So yeah. Let's have a look. Oh, hi Green. I'm kind of against people marrying kids. So, yeah. Yeah, folks. Again, so I don't do politics on here. At all. So if you want to do politics, there are literally now. I've got a computer up at the minute with politics shows and people talking about it. So over there, not here, not interested at all. Harry Lucas. Oh, hi Harry. Hi. How you doing, mate? You all right? Um, yeah, so that's the end of it, folks. Pretty much. I thought the card. I thought it was okay. It was the Irish crowd was pretty cool, but it was kind of like the show that they did in Scotland earlier this year. It was just meh. It was all right, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hopefully the rest of the tour will be better in the UK. Speaking of which, swig of beer. Oh, sorry, water, obviously. It might potentially not be water. Anyway, moving swiftly on. So, yeah, so cheap plug time. Right. In fact, actually, so I was just going to talk briefly about. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place with this. So, Clash in Paris, leading on to the main event as to what the whole reason for the tour was. At the moment, we've got John Cena versus Logan Paul, Roman Reigns against Bronson Reed, Rusev versus Sheamus that I found out today, CM Punk versus LA Knight versus Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso. As it stands, I think we're missing the fifth match, but I would imagine it's going to be Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. If not, they'll maybe run a women's tournament on Monday Night Raw, and then perhaps you get Rhea Ripley on the card. If I wanted to sell out that place, which I'm sure it's sold out already, I would want Rhea Ripley, basically. So my prediction is, yeah, in fact, I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley versus Stephanie Vakia for the vacated women's world title, and I reckon Rhea Ripley goes over. But that's just because I'm a massive fan of Rhea Ripley. For the wrestling, before anyone says anything, uh, maybe not entirely for the wrestling. I hope my wife hasn't heard that. Anyway, so yeah, I'll probably do like a thing on this as well. But Rusev versus Sheamus, I'd imagine Sheamus will put Rusev over. Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. I mean, Roman wins that at the end. Seth Rollins will obviously win the four-way because they won't take the belt off him after all that work they did to get him over in the first place. And I reckon Logan Paul maybe beats Cena with the help of Brock Lesnar. That would be my prediction, but I'll probably do like a excuse me, like a prediction show and stuff. So when I'm going to do that, I have absolutely no idea because I'm super busy at the minute. But yeah, I'll probably do a prediction show for it on the Smackdown maybe next week because that's going to be on early. Except I can't do that because I'm actually doing something on the Friday. Look, I'll end up doing a prediction show for it, so just keep an eye on the channel. Speaking of which, before I go, right, so for subscribers, again, you've probably heard me say this a million times, but I am actually at AEW All In at Forbidden Door this weekend at the O2 Arena in London. So plan is I'm travelling there on Sunday. Should be hitting London about 1:30. Got to check into my hotel, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm hoping to be back at the O2 Arena about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So once I've got in, I'm going to take you around the arena. So you can see some of the rowdy wrestling fans and the merch stands and stuff. Then I'm going to go and get my seat. Then whilst the wrestling's going on, I'm going to try and do as many shorts of the results and finishes, the entrance music as much as I possibly can do whilst I'm in the arena. And then there'll be a vlog from AEW Forbidden Door as well. Also, I'm going to try and do a live reaction coming out of the arena, but please bear with me on that because obviously there's like, I don't know, 25,000 people all pouring out of the O2, so whether I can actually do that in amongst all those people, I have no idea. If not, I'll find somewhere quiet in London. He says on bank holiday Sunday night, which might be very entertaining because I might have to go and do it at a pub or something like that, or even on the tube. So yeah, just bear with me for that one. And then the next day, I'll probably do like a brief wrap up of what happened and maybe a travel vlog and stuff. It's funny actually because on the way back home, so I booked my National Express because I'm really classy and proper Yorkshire. I'm not spending 100 quid on getting to London. I'll just pay 12 quid on the bus, thank you, that'll do me. But when I booked my travel, I didn't know when the Premier League fixtures were coming out, and I didn't realise that Monday Night Raw was also going to be in Birmingham, in England. So my coach back is at 8 o'clock at night after all in. So I'm going to go around London and go to places like Forbidden Planet, and I'm going to try and go to a couple of football grounds like maybe Tottenham and QPR and this, that, and the other. But because I'm travelling back at 8, I've contrived to miss not only Newcastle versus Liverpool, because I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm also going to miss the live Monday Night Raw for Birmingham. And I'm not due back into Leeds until about, I think it's like 20 past 12 or something daft like that. So yeah, long story short, for subscribers, there will be no Liverpool live reaction, and unfortunately I've just discovered there will be no Monday Night Raw reaction. Obviously, usually it's on at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the one time that it's on actually at a decent time, I'm going to be on a National Express on the way home from AEW. So yeah, I'll try and do a review of Raw maybe the next day or something like that, and the same thing with Liverpool as well if you're a Liverpool fan. We'll work it out. We'll see what happens. Let me have a look. January pizza. Greetings from South Africa. Oh, greetings to you, January, as well. Actually, it's not South Africa, January, but that's where half of my family is from. I'm sure you'll know what flag that is. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to be going to AEW. So there's all that good stuff coming up. The day after AEW, like I said, I'm going to go to Forbidden Planet. If you don't know what Forbidden Planet is, that's like a massive geeky shop in the UK, and I'm assuming other places around the world. And it does like comic books and this, that, and the other, and action figures, because I'm a big, massive fan of that sort of thing, hence the name Geek Point Matter. So yeah, and then like I said, I'm going to try and go to a couple of footy grounds. I'm actually stopping near Farringdon in London, if anyone knows where that is. I think it might be reasonably near sort of Chelsea and Fulham, and possibly another ground in and around that area. So yeah, I'm going to try and hit a football ground as well, so I'm going to try and do a live stream on Bank Holiday Monday. But that's also Bank Holiday Monday in London, which is also Notting Hill Carnival, which causes mayhem and chaos every single year that they have that with the travel. So I will end up doing something on Monday, but just bear with me. And then next Wednesday, as I say, I'm going to WWE in Leeds. So like I said, unfortunately, Cody Rhodes is not going to be there, which as a father of a very excitable Cody Rhodes fan, he's completely unhelpful to me, sadly. But yeah, no, it'll still be good. So basically, the plan for next Wednesday, like I said, I'll be going with my family. I'll be doing like a live thing around the First Direct Arena first. And then I'll be going in to watch it with my family, obviously. I will post videos of some of the matches, some of the speeches, some of the entrance music, providing YouTube doesn't partially block it, because they have this very annoying habit of doing that. But then letting other people's videos go on, which is bizarre. And then I'll do like a live reaction when I've got home from the arena, because I'll have to get my little lad back home as well and put him to sleep and all that business. So yeah, the live reaction for that will probably, I would imagine, be about midnight, maybe. So anyone watching this video from Leeds, let me know if you're going, or let me know if you're going from anywhere in West Yorkshire or further afield, and let me know what you think and who you're looking forward to seeing, basically. It should be good. It'd be really nice to have wrestling back in my hometown, basically. So yeah, proper looking forward to that. And also, just very, very briefly, in a non-wrestling related thing, So my what am I trying to say? My channel, Geek Boy Meta, basically is split into like 6 things because I don't just watch wrestling. I cover wrestling, comic cons, toy hunts, and action figures. Liverpool. Sorry if you don't like Liverpool, but yeah, champions of England. We know what we are. Football stadiums, Pride, and something or other which escapes me. I also do podcasts on Liverpool, pro wrestling, and sometimes movies as well. If brand new movies come out, I do Toy Shop Friday. So I've actually got a load of AEW character banners that I managed to collect from the O2 this week. So I actually went for a scout around. So that'll be on the channel this evening. I don't know how many views they've had because I've not had a chance to look just yet. But basically, there's something going on the channel pretty much mostly every single day at the minute. So I cover a multitude of things, but one of my big passions is pro wrestling. So I guess I'm basically saying if you'd like and subscribe and you like wrestling, then please follow. If you don't, not a problem at all. No pressure. Just thanks for everyone that's tuned in and watched me waffle on, basically. But yeah, if you like what you see, then yeah, subscribe. And if you just want to watch it, don't subscribe, then yeah, absolutely not a problem at all. Why was I telling you that for? Yes, the reason I was telling you that was I'm going to do something new-ish on the channel, not this Sunday, but the Sunday after AEW Forbidden Door. So like I said, I go to Comic Cons in the UK, and I'm going to be going to York Comic Con. If you're watching from abroad, York is a very old historical town in West Yorkshire, so it's just near Leeds, basically. But it's awesome, awesome city. Is it a city or a town? Very good question, actually. I'll call it a city. I'm fairly sure it's a city. Anyway, at York Racecourse Ground, which is like a massive stadium where they do like horse racing and this, that, and the other. I'm going to be doing a live stream of York Comic Con, and York Comic Con is one of the biggest conventions that we have in West Yorkshire. Basically, there's like thousands and thousands of people that turn up. So I'm going to be going there with my lad and my son. Sorry, my missus and my lad. Because it'll be his last treat of his holiday. Again, which you guys don't need to know about. Anyway, so I'll be doing a live stream from the Comic Con. There'll be loads of cosplay, loads of people getting dressed up as like Thanos and Ghostbusters fans, and in Hulkbuster suits, and dressed as FNAF and Huggy Wuggy and whatever else. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that from about 1 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock a week on Sunday. The whole thing to walk around the whole floor will maybe take around 30 minutes. So if you want to tune in for that, I'll put it up on my like things to happen, basically. Yes, if you want to join me for that, you are more than welcome to. Also, the next day as well, so this is a week on Monday, I'll be doing a live reaction to transfer deadline day as well. If any of you are football fans from a Liverpool point of view, hopefully there'll be some massive news on a certain Swedish striker, possibly, who will be remain nameless, if I can even say it. So yeah, there's plenty and loads of stuff coming on the channel, but this next week is going to be like, I won't have time to breathe. There's going to be loads of stuff going on. They'll just trying to think the next week. I'll probably do a reaction to Monday Night Raw, but on the Tuesday, because as I said, I'm travelling back, so I'll try and watch it as soon as I get back home with like a kebab or something like that. There'll be a Liverpool podcast next week, but it will possibly be after the game, I would have thought. So I might do a live reaction. So it's either going to be a reaction to Raw or Liverpool, I'm not too sure. There'll be I usually do a wrap-up show for AEW Dynamite. That'll be next Thursday, I think. And then obviously Smackdown's in the UK at the minute. So I'll do yeah, I'll do that basically. Nandish, hi Nandish, AEW, your thoughts on Kali? What, the great Kali? How do I put this? He was an attraction, and he was very big. and very imposing. Um, uh, he, he wasn't the most technically proficient wrestler that I've ever seen, but he was a very impressive human being, so you can't take that away from him. I did like the thing where Natalia pulled him over the top rope by kissing him. Actually, to be fair to the bloke with the size of him, that was very, very well done. But yeah, no, Carly was cool. I did like the match that he had with Randy Orton. Actually, funnily enough, he wasn't anywhere near as bad as anyone used to make out. To be honest, I don't know. The thing with Kali was that always annoyed me. I didn't like his outfit. I know that sounds really, really stupid. I just thought they could have made him. I don't know how I would have dressed him, to be honest, but I just thought they could have. The trunks did not help. Not the trunks. The trousers did not help. I just thought the look was poor, to be honest. So, but yeah, no, fair play to Kali. He made his money, and if he's got a wrestling company in India, of all places, fair play to him. He's obviously done very well for himself and he's a very rich man. And he's been far more successful than me, so which is not difficult, to be fair. Are you going to watch Newcastle versus Liverpool prediction lineup? Hi, yeah, yeah. No, I was just saying, mate, that unfortunately, because I'm going to see AEW, I booked my travel back months and months ago, National Express, and I actually booked it for 8 o'clock on Monday. And what is on 8 o'clock on Monday? Liverpool versus Newcastle. So I will be getting score updates on a National Express coach. In fact, I might just turn my phone off because I don't want to end up getting thrown off the bus for shouting at my phone, basically. So I'll probably just turn notifications off and watch the highlights when I get home. My plan was actually the Weatherspoons that we have here in Leeds is usually up until 1 o'clock, so I was going to go there and then put the highlights on my phone and then just do something like walking on the way home. But we'll have to wait and see. In terms of lineup, I know this isn't wrestling, but I'm going to go with Alison Becker. Do you know what? I think he might play Andy Robertson. I've just got a feeling that Kirkes might be taken out because obviously this is going to be proper hostile against Newcastle after what's happened with Isaac and stuff. I think obviously Virgil will keep his place. Ibu should just keep his place. My suspicion would be if he has another terrible match, Joe Gomez might come in against the Arsenal. I don't know. I can't imagine this new lad's going to start Giovanni. Leone. I reckon he plays Sobersley. Gravenberg will definitely have to come back in. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays Curtis Jones over Alexis McAllister, to be honest. But obviously we've got no Frimpong either, so I would rather have Curtis Jones there than a half-fit Joe Gomez and Endo at the minute. So I'd probably put Curtis Jones there, so maybe McAllister retains his place, actually. Unless you're going to put Wirtz in midfield, and then you have Ekatike, Gakpo and Salah. So that's the one thing for me. I think Curtis Jones starts at right back. And then, unless you play Endo, because I think this is going to be won and lost to midfield, because obviously we got absolutely annihilated in that cup final by their midfield. It was shocking, basically. Newcastle should have won that final about 9-0, let alone 2-1. So, put it this way, at the minute, I would be delighted with a point. Absolutely. Let's have a look. Which is better, UFC or WWE? I mean, I used to watch FCAR, to be honest. Just because I'm a massive pro wrestling fan, I'll say WWE, but I did used to watch UFC when obviously they had that golden time where obviously Ronda was there, Daniel Cormier was there, Brock Lesnar was there, Conor McGregor, whatever you think of what he is now, was there. You had Cormier and I think Ngannou might have just been a bit after all those lads. You had Alistair Overeem, Randy Couture back in the day. I used to love watching Randy Couture. What a fighter he was. I actually really liked, I forgot the lady's name. I think she's Ukrainian. Blonde hair, if you know what I'm on about. I thought she was really good. Chris Cyborg, obviously. And I forgot his name. Michael Bisping. My favourite fight was actually Forrest Griffin versus Stephan Bonner that they had at the end of the UFC, not it wasn't called Tough Enough. That program that they used to have when they had UFC trainers who were fighters, basically. Obviously, I used to watch it when Shamrock was a wrestler, and that's how I knew about him going into WWF, as it was at the time, because I'm super old. And the guy with the blonde hair, I forgot his name, Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell as well. Yeah, yeah. So I did used to watch it all the time, actually, but probably more WWE now, to be honest. Is WWE real or fake? It is a work. I'll leave that to your imagination. You're going to the West Indian Carnival in Leeds? No, AR, because it's going to be on. I think it's on the Monday usually, isn't it? Going down Chapeltown Road, I think. I no, I won't be back in time because, like I said, I'll be still be in London until about 8 o'clock at night. And then I won't be back here till about 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe 12 o'clock. Like I said, my plan is I'm hoping I can get back here. I'll be completely honest for if Weatherspoons is still open in the town centre and get myself a clip glass of wine, but we'll have to wait and see about that. Your thoughts on Chris Benoit? Nandish, I think he is let me be careful how I answer this. He was one of the best pro wrestlers in the world, but he, as a father, and this is just my opinion, I think the man was a monster because he did what he did to his child, and as a father of a beautiful little boy upstairs who's currently sat with my missus, I cannot fathom how anyone could possibly have that in their heart or in their mind to do that to their own child. So, yeah, I think he's a monster. It's as simple as that, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah, what a way to end it. Yeah, so anyway, folks, right, I'm going to head off now because well, basically want to drink something a bit better than water. And I want to get myself a takeaway and stuff. But yeah, as usual, thanks for everyone for interacting with me. It's been a real pleasure speaking to all of you. Thank you, Nandish. Thank you very much, mate. Pleasure speaking to you. Yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you folks as always. We've only had a couple of weirdos this time that I've blocked. I'm getting quite good at this blocking thing now, actually. It's quite satisfying just to go, yeah, ignore you. But yeah, no, thanks very much everyone for watching. And like I said, please keep an eye on the channel on Sunday night, Sunday afternoon between, I would say, oh, thank you, Nandish. That's really, really nice of you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, so if you all keep an eye out, basically, I should be on at the O2 about 4. So basically, there'll be content coming from the O2 Arena in London between 4 o'clock and probably around 10:30 at night. Throughout the day, basically, not the whole thing, because obviously I can't stream the whole thing because I do not want to be arrested for obvious reasons. But because my wife would beat me up if I was to be arrested in London, and not bail me out as well. So yeah, cool. Right, so yeah, keep an eye on the channel on Sunday, and just thanks for all the support, everyone. Right, guys, have a fantastic Friday night wherever you are, or Friday morning wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all soon. See you on Sunday, guys. Bye bye.